Hey Journey, as Christmas approaches, I want to talk to you about something remarkably exciting that we get to be a part of, you and I together. We're going to engage again this year in a big give, and we're really compelled by God's generosity to us in that. Big give's not really a new idea to us. It's God's idea, right? God gave big when He gave His Son. Our salvation, our opportunity of salvation, our opportunity of heaven on earth and heaven forever is given to us by God's generosity, right? God so loved the world, people like you and me, that He gave. It starts with His giving. And so we want to be people like that. And Journey, I want to say thanks. You're generous all the time. 365 days a year, you're a generous people, and I'm really honored to be a part of that with you. But in December, we want to say, hey, let's be part of a big give. Let's go a little above and beyond our normal generosity. Let's go a little above and beyond our normal giving. What would God invite us into? So what are some really tangible needs and opportunities that we could strategically and intentionally express generosity towards this December, all throughout the month, from December 1 through December 31? Let me tell you about a few of them. The first one is one that we've actually been a part of for a decade now, which is hard to believe, the ministry of hand to hand. So occasionally at the Christmas season, we've given some to hand, and we want to do that again this year. We want to invest intentionally in hand to hand for a couple of reasons. One, we've been, again, part of hand to hand in Middleville for a decade, but there's a lot of other schools on waiting lists waiting for churches to adopt them. They know they have kids who don't have food for the weekend. And maybe this is our time to adopt another school or part of another school system, and that'll absolutely take some financial help, and it will take some volunteer help. It'll take some man and woman power and energy to do that. But maybe this is our year to do that. It's also not possible that we'll be able to come alongside some other churches and other communities and help them adopt schools in their very own communities that are waiting to find help in feeding kids for the weekend. So let's invest as we have for a decade. Let's continue to invest in hand to hand. But this year, they're in the big give, the month of December. That's part of what we'll be giving above and beyond to. Second thing, very local still. Right here in Caledonia, we've got many families that have significant need. We've been in some conversations with the high school about some of those families and how to minister to them in this time. Some of them are actually refugee families. We have refugee families in Caledonia from places like Afghanistan and Rwanda and South America with very tangible needs. Sometimes as simple as they just don't have winter clothes. They're not gonna have food to get through the holiday season. And then beyond the refugees though, there's several other families, many other families in Caledonia who have very, very tangible need right now that we can be a part of meeting. We can be a part of expressing Jesus' love and generosity to. So hand to hand, local families here, right in our own Caledonia community. But let's also talk about a third one. Here's the third one. Let's think a little bit globally. I want to introduce you and tell you a little bit about a gentleman by the name of Ganbold, who's from Nalak in Mongolia. Ganbold is a pastor in the community of Nalak, which is a community of great, great need. Ganbold in Nalak is a pastor of a church, but he's also an entrepreneur. He's also trying to help people while they're helping them meet Jesus. He's also trying to help them find a way financially to survive and to find a niche, to find a way to operate in business. One of the things that he's doing is he's actually starting a meat business. Meat is a prized and valuable possession in Nalak, but there's very little of it. The opportunities are limited, and oftentimes in the coldest of seasons, the people can't afford to keep the livestock that they desperately need alive, so they end up killing them early and killing them before they're ready. One of the things that Ganbold is starting is a meat ministry that will begin with a significant freezer. He'll actually be hiring people and training people to process and then sell the meat, and it will help equalize the prices a little bit throughout the year. It'll help give people jobs. It'll help give them a way to also serve the community. One of the things that Ganbold has said is that pastors and missionaries have told everybody around us about Jesus, but now we actually need to show them Jesus. And this ministry and this business that they're starting, they're almost out of that local church, is an incredible opportunity. And we're going to help them with that. We're going to invest in that. We'll be investing in a tangible way to help people have food. We'll be investing in a tangible way to help people have a job. We'll be investing in a tangible way for them to show their community the personal expression of Jesus through meeting a tangible need right there in Nalak in Mongolia. So 3 ways Now here's the question though. How are we gonna do it and what are we gonna do? Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just prayerfully ask God, how would you invite us as a church through the month of December to give $30,000? What does it look like for us to give $30,000? 10,000 to hand to hand, 10,000 to some local needs, refugees and other families, 10,000 to Naluk, Mongolia. What does it look like for us to collectively give $30,000? So here's all I'm asking you to do is begin to ask, Jesus, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do to help meet needs and needs? For every dollar you give, a third of it's going in each of those directions. You give $1, a third's going to hand, a third's going to families right here in need, and a third's going to Naluk, Mongolia. And let's just see, God, what would you do? What would you do to empower us to give $30,000, $10,000 to each of those? If we give more than that, listen, if we give more to that, the needs in each of those are greater. If we give $40,000 or $50,000, it's still going in those directions. Let's give beyond ourselves this December. Let's be a part of this big Give Together church. I'm so excited to do it with you. I cannot wait to see how God exceeds our expectations through just our faithfulness to listen and then follow him in it. I love you, church. Let's be part of the big Give Together.